What's more important is that we just come to a definitive conclusion right here about what we are, and that we know that all the points of view, no matter what they are, they're all included within awakened awareness. And when we just rest naturally, they settle down. They just settle down in and of themselves. Just like when we stop stirring the pond with a stick, the sediment settles to the bottom, and then there's only the crystal clear pond. So all these points of view, no matter what they are, we've never needed to do anything about them. They're just the dynamic energy of awareness and nothing else. When we think we need to do something about them, then we're in the endless hamster wheel. We're on the endless hamster wheel of trying to do something about them. But all the points of view, they vanish in and of their own accord. They vanish naturally without a trace. They dissolve in and of themselves. They're their own undoing. They're fleeting. They're ephemeral. Any description is fleeting or ephemeral. It's always resolving in the basic space of what it is. It's always resolving and already resolved in the basic space of what it is, pure space and nothing else. So every point of view, no matter what it is pure space and nothing else. Even if we tried to clutch onto a point of view, grab a point of view and say, this is what I really am, we'd never be able to hold on to it. Has anyone ever been able to do that? Say, oh yes, this is what I really am. I know I'm this now. It's a fixed identity and it'll never change. It's never going to move. It's impossible. It's impossible because all the points of view, they're like the flight path of a bird in the sky. They vanish naturally, leaving no trace. Just like a boat comes along through the ocean, we couldn't really say where its wake started or where it'll end or where the middle of it was or anything else. We couldn't come to any conclusion about that. So all the points of view, like a knot in a snake, they're their own undoing. Like a contortionist undoes herself or himself, they're their own undoing. There's nothing that need be done about them. When we rest naturally, conclusively as the essence of our being, we come to a complete understanding of ourselves as we are. A complete understanding of ourselves as we are. But we don't need to leave anything out. We don't, the reality of what we are, all-inclusive life, all-inclusive awakened awareness, it is not life-denying. It's not life-denying. It's life-giving, life-affirming. All of it is life-giving, life-affirming. When we take ourselves to be someone who needs to be fixed, a lot of times we say, oh, there's this thing about myself that I have to control, or that thing about myself that I have to control in order to be a good person. And sometimes in the process, we deny life. You know, we cut ourselves off from relationship. We avoid relationship as a way of thinking we're going to arrive at life. You know, we avoid relationship with our own sensations or thoughts or emotions by trying to quell them or quash them in some way. We avoid relationships with other people by taking other people to be a big bag of flesh that contains a lot of points of view. And then so what we think of ourselves, we automatically think of others. But when we rest naturally, we see that, wow, we really begin to understand this thing that's talked about all the time, oneness, indivisibility, that there really is no other. There is no other because there's never been someone for an other to be an other to. Do you see what I'm saying? But we can only know that through natural rest. Otherwise, all these will just be mental concepts. They'll just be a bunch of thoughts and philosophies we have about what's real, but we won't have the direct experience of it. So what the Great Freedom teaching is about is the direct introduction to that experience in the beginning. So the direct introduction, this is who you are. Not the direct introduction in terms of a philosophical concept, but the direct experience of your own reality. The decisive experience of your own reality. Because see, only with that do you know what to rest as. So there are many people here who have that decisive experience. You know what that is. that there's nothing to search for. You already are who you are. And when you rest naturally as that, it just becomes more and more obvious, like the dimmer switch, turning up a dimmer switch. It just gets brighter and brighter and brighter and brighter and brighter. There's no destination or anyone going there, but yet in the simple human experience of our own reality, each moment is more glorious than the last. In this way, we support ourselves completely. It's just the ultimate loving kindness for ourselves and everyone else. Because when we know ourselves so completely, so thoroughly, when we come to this conclusive, sublime knowing of our own nature as it is, then once we know that about ourselves, we know that it's true about everyone. And we have immense compassion then, This warmth of compassion arises. It's relentless. It can't be turned off. It just is as it is. We know ourselves as we are. We know definitively that everyone else is exactly that as well, that there's never been anyone who needed to be fixed. Even if we see lots of people who don't recognize who they are, we realize that they really recognize who they are. They're already timelessly free no matter what anyone takes herself or himself to be. Everyone's already timelessly free. Timeless means timeless. So you see, even if we have a thought, the underlying timelessness of that time-bound thought is timelessly free. So there's no way to get away from it. There's no escape hatch. There's no escape hatch. There's no exit door to awareness. There's nothing we can do, say, think, intuit, or anything else that can take us out of awareness. It's impossible. It's totally impossible. This is the non-dual perspective. Make no mistake about it. This is the non-dual perspective. It's not circumstance dependent. It doesn't matter where you are or who you are or what you're doing. You are who you are. So what this means, essentially, to talk about it in a very practical way, is that the awareness of the greatest being who ever lived and the awareness of the worst human being who ever lived, who caused the most murder and mayhem or whatever it may have been, their awareness is equal. It's equal as aware basic space. Now, what they did with their awareness, that may be a different story. But the awareness just simply is. In one case, awareness was turned to seeing everything as it is. So self-knowing awareness. Each human being, all they are is self-knowing awareness. That's the true identity. That's the true identity. And that self-knowing awareness, its entire display throughout the magnificence of human life, that awareness as every single point of view is to either realize that that point of view is itself or to make it separate. So that's the only choice with every single point of view, no matter what it is. It's the sublime choice to realize it as it is, and in that realizing all points of view as they are, or to make a story out of it.